Don't focus on man and what man's doing, because Rebekah, it's going to get stupid. It's going to get weird. It's going to get everything you see that's going to go on. It's going to be pure evil, and it's going to be so stupid. You're not going to be able to like figure it out. Okay, don't try to figure it out. Don't try to fight it. I'm allowing this to happen. He's allowing all this to happen for a reason. Okay, because we're at the end of the age. Cut off from Israel? Are you feeling like everyone else who is a believer is hearing from Yehovah except for you? Are you so angry at all the evil that's happening in the world? Is it just making you so angry that you want to do something about it, and you don't really know what to do because these things are so huge? Things like, the chemtrails, and they're trying to poison our air and poison our water and poison the ground, the food, everything. It's just so frustrating. So if you are struggling with those things, then I'm here today to share with you a story that happened to me yesterday, and I think it will encourage you because it was life-changing for me. So here we go. I am Rebekah Bat Yehovah from Teshuvah Ministries. Yes, I spent 15, 20 years in ministry. I still have things up on our YouTube channel and our Kingdom University and Teshuvah Ministries website and the Melchizedek Priesthood website and the Ladies of Teshuvah. I still got all those things going, and Starlight Publishing, our books, and my Etsy store, the Happy Hebrew Girl. There we go. Anyway, so I still have all those things working for Yehovah and His kingdom, but now I have started a bakery with my family. For the last 3 years, we've been doing this for our daughter Hadassah, so she had a place to work. So now we actually have a brick and mortar commercial kitchen. It's an eatery, coffee shop, and bakery, and it's just lovely. And I should be working right now, but this is actually what I should be doing, because I want to document what happened yesterday for my heart. There's got to be other people who are frustrated like me. So let me just back up just a bit. I'll put the link to our bakery in the description below if you want to check out our bakery, and at some point you'll be able to order online, and I'm working on figuring out shipping and wholesale and all that. But right now we are open in Kellogg, Idaho. It's a beautiful little storefront. I'll put some links so you can go check it out and see what we make. It's all organic. It's all clean food. It's wonderful. Bagel sandwiches, waffles. It's really fun. Anyway, okay, so just getting back to my story, I want to keep this kind of short. Coming out of ministry and stopping that has been quite a challenge for me, and I am getting a new experience with living out covenant, working a 16-hour day job 6 days a week. We take Shabbat off, we take the feast off, obviously. Everybody here in town knows we take Shabbat off. Everybody in town knows we take the feast off. I was soaking in kingdom thoughts and discussions and studies all the time. There wasn't room for any doubt of any sort. So working this much in the community that doesn't care about Yehovah's ways, my soul's just tired. It's just exhausted. And over the course of the last 3 years, so I'm an Israelite. I keep the covenant. I believe I'm part of the Church of Philadelphia because I believe in the Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach. But I keep the Melchizedek covenant, which is Exodus 19 through 24, in the light of having the Ruach HaKodesh in me, being mikvahd into the death and resurrection of Yeshua, having his blood cleanse me from all sin, and giving me a new start to be able to, giving me everything I need in order to keep the demands of the covenant, which is to obey, right? Obedience. And I can eat of him and drink of his blood and have him in me so that I please Yehovah just like he is. So I'm part of Israel, okay? I'm part of the scattered. I've studied the scattered. I know who the scattered are. The scattered are, Manasseh is America. It's the great nation that Jacob prophesied would exist at the end of the age. It is, and Ephraim is Europe, or basically Great Britain. that Jacob also prophesied over the house of Joseph, which was they were going to be a multitude of nations, that's what Great Britain is. And if you look and do all the studies, you know where they are. So I know who I am. I am part of the scattered. But part of the problem is in all the media right now. And this is 2025 when I'm filming this. This is what is this, June 2025. Over the course of the last, I don't know, couple years, if not, just in the last year, it seems like the whole world says Israel's come home, that all the Jews, at least all the Jews, know that they're called home, right? So there's a lot of Jews that have gone home. They've been fleeing the countries and different countries where they live, and they're going home. Okay, these are Jews who can prove that they have lineage, so they are actual, Jews by birth. Okay, so they have blood. So and all the media is like, all the mainstream conservative, Christian outlets and stuff, they're all so excited that Israel's home, back in the land, that they've restored the land, that the prophecies are coming true. The Jews are home, or they're being called home, and they can be numbered. Well, wait a minute. So they're scattered in the world still. We're unnumbered, as it says. You can't put a number to them, so you can't count them. There's so many, you can't count them. And I've heard people and Christian ministries in Israel put a number on how many Jews there are. You can't do that to the scattered. There's 10 tribes out here, right? So that are scattered. So Jews, by definition, are Brother Judah and some of Benjamin and Levi are in the land. That's great. I love Brother Judah, and I believe that is Brother Judah, the people who are natives to that land, who have the line in their blood or stuff and can prove they're Jews. That's Judah. I love them. But there's 10 tribes out here who I'm a part of that isn't being talked about. And so I have felt over the course of the last few years cut off, as if I don't exist. Like, okay, but there's a greater exodus to come. The exodus is going to be for the 10 tribes. The Messiah has to gather the scattered. That's part of the job description in prophecy. And if he doesn't do that, he's not the Messiah. So, and so everybody's saying, well, he's gathered the scattered. He's gathered the Jews in their home, but we're not Jews. We are the scattered. We are scattered Israel. So that are still in the nations, who are waking up, who are turning back. So anyway, so over the course of time, while I've got my hands in dough and I'm serving customers and I'm working quite long shifts trying to get this thing off the ground, I'm not in this topic all the time. So when I'm scrolling through YouTube trying to find something decent to listen to, when I'm baking in the morning for 4 hours in the morning all by myself, I want some inspiration, I want some encouragement, I want to help endure, to endure, because we are still enduring. There is no fellowship around here that believes like us. Like, everyone in North Idaho is on a stupid calendar, like Qumran calendar, or the patriarchal calendar, or Enosh calendar, or the rabbinical calendar. Nobody's following the same calendar as us, even though we were part of the very first people up here who were inviting people into celebrating the feast, and they've all kind of left us to go do their own thing because it's more convenient on the other calendar, whatever. So we're basically very, very alone here. And my daughters, everybody's like, my daughters are very lonely. It's very frustrating to watch. But anyway, point being is like trying to keep that, remembering in mind that we are part of the scattered, and the scattered isn't gathered yet. So gathered as in they're waking up, yes, but not gathered as in we are moving out, to the land of Israel to be with our king and meet up with Brother Judah at some point and have the end of the age happen according to Yahweh's plan. It's not happened yet. So it's been a really hard thing for me to keep in my mind that I am not cut off. The story of Joshua, somebody was relating it to me again, and how they get to the promised land. He sends out the spies. 10 come back, and 2 have great report, 10 have bad report, and they basically say the giants in the land are too big. And so for me, it was a wake-up call, because my prayers were don't forget me. You can't make Aliyah unless you have converted to Judaism. And I'm not going to deny the Messiah. So I feel like there's giants in the land. As soon as I thought that, I was like, whoa, I'm not spending 40 years in the wilderness again. I'm so sorry, Yehovah. Please forgive me. And now my prayers are, thank you for not forgetting me, instead of don't forget me, right? So I'm perceiving giants in the land. I'm acting in my heart like the spies did when they came back and they gave a bad report because there were giants in the land, they couldn't get there. Well, Yehovah said that he was going to gather us. Yehovah said we were going to get the land, and it will be done in his time, not mine. But anyway, so that's one aspect. So that the one aspect of my story that I'm going to relate to you about yesterday, and I'm sorry this is long, but this is fun. So one aspect is the fact that I feel cut off, okay, from Israel, and that's been something hot in my heart for a while. The second thing is I've just been so angry at watching the sky get dark. So up here in North Idaho, Idaho happens to be one of the worst states to live in when it comes to chemtrails. Okay, they have this huge chemtrail program. In fact, it's called cloud seeding, it's weather modification. In fact, I called the governor 2 weeks ago because I was so angry. If you live anywhere in the northern hemisphere, you have all this huge winter and you can't wait for summer and the blue sky and the sun to come out because you need that vitamin D, you need the happiness. So I'm sitting over there happy, and I'm seeing like planes go darkening the sky, and I was just livid because it was a blue sky day, and pretty soon there was all these chemtrails, and it's obvious they are okay people. If you don't know that, do your study, because it is. All right, they're doing circles. It's really stupid. Anyway, so I was just livid, right? And it just angers me. It angers me so much because they're actually poisoning us. They're doing this, and they're outside of the poison, which is bad enough. They're darkening the sky, and they're trying to play God. Okay, Yehovah says, "I will send the rain." Yehovah says that He's the one in charge of all of that, but man thinks they're God, and it just angers me so much. So I'm really struggling with that, right? I want to look up in the sky, and when I do, I see that, and I'm just so angry, right? There's so many things you can get angry about these days. I mean, what you can get angry about. For me, it's that right now, and there's a ton of other things, but my bakery is organic bakery. I purify my water in order to make my bread or cookies or something. I'm very, very aware of poisons that we can avoid. So like you can go to Skin Deep database and you can put in products that you put on your body, like lotions and things like that, and find out if they're cancer causing. So like I'm really big into that. I'm really big into this, no sunscreens except for ones that don't cause skin cancer. So I actually went to the beach the other day with my daughters and one of their friends, and their friend pulled out this awful cancer-causing sunscreen, and I happened to know her. I've known her since she was 3 years old. I grabbed that stuff. I walked it up to the trash can. I threw it in. And I was like trying to teach her that is not going to, that's going to be a fatal blow to her. So then I went and got her some good sunscreen and gave her some. There's this temptation to get involved. There's this temptation to take it on. So I live like 3 doors from Idaho State Senator Phil Hart, and I'm like, we were stop and talk the other day, and he's trying to figure out how to get a bill passed to stop this nonsense up here in Idaho with the chemtrails. And he's telling me the ins and outs of what's going on and who's for it and why this won't get passed, why they keep shutting this down, why they don't want to hear it because of the big farms and blah blah blah. And so I'm like, what can I do to help? Can I give you office space here? Can I like get signatures? I've done this before. I stopped a very big development in Coeur d'Alene, early 2000s when the girls were little. I stopped it by getting signatures and bringing the community together. It was a very big deal. We established a historic district that protected the district, and we did design standards and all this other stuff. So I was a part of that. I know how to do that. And if I had nothing better to do with my life, then I would do that, right? That's the tendency. I want things to be better. I want it to be paradise before it's supposed to be paradise, right? So here's the thing. Okay, so all that said, now I get to the story for yesterday, and thanks for hanging in here. Okay, so the story from yesterday. I'm big in strawberries. I love strawberries. Today, I'm going to make strawberry pie for our customers. I love strawberries. I've always loved strawberries. When I was a little girl, I was drawing strawberry houses and different things like that. I just love strawberries. I've always have. I've carried strawberry plants with me and planted them everywhere we lived. When we lived in the teepee, I had 1,000 strawberry plants in beds like, I was more interested in getting my strawberries planted than, you know, a really good setup for a family. I did both at the same time. But anyway, point being is, like, I've always loved strawberries, and strawberries are a big deal to me. Harvest is a big deal to me. So throughout the course of the summer, I harvest strawberries, and then you turn to, you know, you got raspberries, and then you got blueberries, you got huckleberries, and you got blackberries, and blah, 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 blah. So I like to harvest, and I do a lot of that throughout the summer. And so there's the hot weather that has been up here in North Idaho has made it so the strawberry harvest has come on early. So there's very few, if any, locally organic strawberry farms. So I guess yesterday I heard of one that was a little closer, but the one that I knew of was over in Spokane. So it's literally an hour and a half drive. It's a long drive, hour and 20 minutes, something like that from me. And it's a big deal for me to get away from the bakery. So yesterday was market day, so I came in early, really early, like 3:30 in the morning, got the rest of the bake done, got everything packed for the family so they could go to the market, and it would free me up for the day to go pick strawberries. So they're good. They got to the market, and I beeline over to Spokane, and I go to this organic field I had called, I had looked at Facebook, making sure that they had berries, and everybody was like, such good berries, there's a great harvest this year, that's abundant, blah, 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 big old berries. And I need big berries because I get a lot of pounds. I get, like, you know, nearly 70 to 100 pounds, and I want to make sure that I'm not wasting my time, because it's basically one time I'm getting one shot at this. You know, I put them in the freezer for all winter, and I'm going to use them here at the bakery this year for a lot of different things. Anyway, so I get over there, and it is a freaking dust bowl in this farm that I know of, who I've picked from before. They're not technically organic, but they don't spray. But they had a new field that they planted, and it was in a different location. So it was so dusty, it was a dust bowl, and they had tons of families there with little kids. And I was like, okay, this could be good. So I stand in line, get my box, I start going to the field, right? And it's a bright sunny day, but the whole time I'm seeing these chemtrails, right? It's huge. You know, you have a big sky because you have farm, big sky, and all you can see is these planes coming out of the west from the airport. I don't even know where they come from. I have no idea where they come from. They must come from the airport. Anyway, and they're just starting to, like, make this, and I'm just furious about that. But then I get to this field, and it's a dust bowl, but there's all these people in there, and they're walking around as if there's a good crop. So I'm like, okay. So I get my box. I'm just walking around trying to find berries, and it's literally a red berry, and then 5 feet later another red berry, right? And I was like, I can't handle this. I can't pick this way. This is going to take me all day, and it's not even good berries. They're not big. So I walked the entire field trying to find berries, and I was dumbfounded that these families were there, and they were actually finding anything, and they weren't really, but they were having a great time. Fine, whatever. You get out of the, you know, suburb. Get out of that, bring your kids into the field, great. I'm totally for that. You know, figure out where your strawberries come from and show your kids, that's great. But it's not gonna work for me because I'm actually, you know, serious about this. I need a harvest. I told them how disappointed I was in their field. I bought my little bit of whatever that, you know, would be like one meal. And strawberry shortcake is my favorite. Okay, strawberry shortcake is, like, by far the best. Anyway, I get in my car, and I started parked, and I didn't pray at all. Okay, I prayed in the morning. I always pray in the morning. I pray a couple times in the morning and lift my hands to heaven and ask Yehovah to fill my hands with his blessings and to do all the things I need. And I look to him for my Elohim, and I bless him, and I pray for Israel and everything like that. But I didn't pray at that moment for my specific need at that moment. I was just, like, trying to figure it out. So I thought, well, I'm going to go up to, you know, this other farm that I know and ask this farmer that I know. I've known him for a long time. I asked him, where's another organic field? I was going to do that. I called another farm that I knew that was deeper into Spokane, and I forgot, after I got their message, that they actually pulled up their whole organic field, and they don't have strawberries anymore, which was blowing my mind a couple years ago, and I forgot about that. So anyway, so I get in my car, and I was like, okay, I'm going to start driving up to this other place, and I turned down the road and away from the berry field that I was in, and I saw the farm where I had picked blackberries last summer, and because there were cars there, and it said, well, we're open 12 to 5, and it wasn't 12. And so I was like, well, I'm just going to get up and walk around and see if anybody's here, because I saw a strawberry field right next to that barn. And I walked around, no one was there. So I came back around to the car, and I just felt this nudge in my heart to drive one more time. Just go around. There's cars here. There's got to be somebody here. So I drive around, I walk around, and I realized that there's 3 guys in the back bottling beer. So they make beer there. And so I was like, oh, cool. So I told them my situation. I asked them if that field was theirs, and they said yes. And he said they're going to open tomorrow, which is actually today now. They were going to soft open tomorrow, but the berries are there. And it's a brand new field that they just planted. And he called the boss, and he told the boss that I was near Montana. I drove all the way, and blah, 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 blah. And the boss said yes to open the gate for me. And I was like dumbfounded. He leads me up there to the field. It's a beautiful field on a knoll, and he basically gives me all the boxes I need. And he says, tell anybody that stops by, because it was on a road and with a big fence, but people could see in, and people want berries right now, and they're going to go to that other farm, and they're going to see no berries, and they're going to try to find berries. And tell them your family. And this all is so good for my heart. I'll tell you how it all works together here in a second. But he leaves, closes the gate behind him, and locks it. And I'm there all alone, Rebekah, who's a strawberry queen, alone in this gorgeous, brand new virgin field. I'm the first person to pick this field. I was blown away. It was surreal to me. I was so excited, and I kept, as I was looking through the field to find where I wanted to pick, and then I started picking. It was just everywhere, big, juicy, gorgeous berries. No one else had picked there. It was me first, and I was blown away. So I'm falling to my knees over the course of like the morning while I'm picking, just sobbing, thank you, Papa, and things started coming to my mind, okay? Stop the story just for a second and tell you one other thing that has been frustrating me. The day before, Jim Staley canceled his Sukkot for this next year, so 2025 he canceled the Sukkot. We went as a family to Jim Staley's Sukkot last year. Now when we went to that, I didn't say anything about it to anybody online, but we were concerned with a lot of different things that were going on there. It didn't feel completely right. We had a great time, don't get me wrong, and made some friends, got to meet Jim and Cheryl and all the family. Love Sierra, love all the family, okay? So it's not that, it's just there was some things that we weren't so comfortable with. I watched the video as to why they've canceled. So he's heard prophetic words, okay? So he's had a dream. This other person had a dream. This other person had prophetic words. This other person, and he kept talking about all these people that were inputting into his life why they should cancel Sukkot, because there's really bad things that are supposed to be happening this Sukkot, I guess. That's what they were seeing in vision and prophetic whatever. And after what we saw last year, we were like, I don't know, like, where are you hearing this from? I don't know. What was striking me in my heart was, why am I not hearing like that? Like, that was the other third thing that has been frustrating me, is like, I'm not hearing like voices. I'm not getting dreams. I'm not getting prophetic visions. I'm not like, all of that is not happening for me. And I've been in ministry for a long time, and it's never really been like that. It's more been, gentle nudging. Just the way I live is like, I'm trying to find, the answer. So I kind of go here and go there, and I don't know if you want to say the door's open or not, but like everything is guided by what I understand the scripture's saying and beliefs and things like that. But a lot of it has been, I trust you no matter whether I'm hearing you or not. So I'm just going to do what you said to do because you said to do it, and I trust you. That's kind of how I've been. I'm not relying on, when I teach, when I operate, I'm not relying on a prophetic vision or something that I've heard personally. So I don't operate that way. I operate more like just, what does the word say? So when he was saying all this, I felt like, man, am I not hearing things? What's going on? Because it's, I would say a dry season. I've just got my hands in dough, serving customers, closing on Shabbat, taking the ramifications of that, all this other stuff. So creating a space for Hadassah to have a job, which she does, which is great. And today I actually have my first, I have a dishwasher showing up, a young man that's going to come, homeschool dude that's going to come do dishes for us, which is going to be great. So that's the third thing. So there was 3 things that have been frustrating. I feel cut off. I feel like I want to get active. I want to be active in like getting rid of, you know, the chemtrails and taking on that because it's just poisoning us. And then the idea that I'm not hearing like somebody like Jim Staley who says he's hearing through prophetic stuff, visions and stuff like that. So here's the thing. Okay, I'm in this field and I'm crying because he has answered my prayer. I didn't ask a thing. I did not ask him for this. I couldn't have made that happen if I wanted to. I'm standing in this virgin strawberry field, virgin strawberry field. I'm picking the virgin pick, and they're gorgeous, beautiful berries. I'm all by myself, and above me is the chemtrails, and they're doing what the chemtrails do. They start to like spread out, and so now there's no more blue sky. It's all gray, and in my heart, I was angry to begin with, and then all of a sudden, that went away, and I was on my knees in front of my king, accepting the blessing that he gave me, and I was blown away with thought that came to my heart, which was, don't focus on man and what man's doing, because Rebekah, it's going to get stupid. It's going to get weird. It's going to get everything you see that's going to go on. It's going to be pure evil, and it's going to be so stupid. You're not going to be able to like figure it out. Okay, don't try to figure it out. Don't try to fight it. I'm allowing this to happen. He's allowing all this to happen for a reason, okay? Because we're at the end of the age. But what my heart heard was, it's going to be so stupid above you, around you, but focus on the blessing that I'm going to give you, and I'm going to take care of you. And I was undone. But on top of it, here's the thing. I've been feeling cut off, right? Well, the guy told me to say I'm family. Like, so literally a car drives up. I'm putting my berries down. I have beautiful big boxes of berries, and she stops and she's like, so are you open? And I said, tomorrow we're open, I'm family. And she goes, oh, the privileges of family. And then she said, I'll see you tomorrow. And she drove off. And I was like, getting that, all of a sudden I was like, Yahweh is telling me I'm family. I am Israel. So my cut off, the feeling of being cut off, went away yesterday. He's like, no, you are part of the scattered. You are one that I have remembered, right? And then as soon as, okay, I'm in the field, and all of a sudden I'm thinking about Jim Staley, and I'm like, you know, he's hearing these visions, he's having whatever, and so I'm starting to think that thought, and I might even spoke it out loud, and all of a sudden, like, I felt Yahweh bring back to, or Ruach HaKodesh bring back to my mind, there's a scene in Chronicles of Narnia where it's Aslan who is chasing after the two horses. So you have Arvis, and I can't remember Sean, or I can't remember the name of the characters, but anyway, so he grabs Arvis, who's on horseback, and they're tearing out away from something, and they're scared from the sound of this lion. They don't know it's a lion. They don't know it's Aslan, and he basically takes Arvis and scratches her and hurts her, right? And in the end, the boy, I wish I remember his name, the boy, he questions that. He's like, why did you hurt her? Why did you do that to her? And Aslan's like, I'm not telling you her story. I'm telling you yours. And so for me, out in the field, when I'm thinking about, you know, Jim Staley and how he's hearing, and everybody else around him was hearing things, and Yahweh said, stop. He's like, I'm not telling you his story. I'm telling you your story. So I was like, yesterday was such a blessing to my heart, and I had to share it with you. I know I have been quiet on YouTube. I've got so much on my plate right now. I just, you know, I haven't been able to share. I haven't had anything to share that's been, you know, something grand for this. I've had things happen in our life that have been such a blessing that he's helped us do this for the family. But I had to share this today. I just think, and I'm taking 30 minutes out of my morning bake to record this so that you can be encouraged. If you feel cut off from Israel, if you feel like you really want to go home like I do, like everything in me knows that the land over there would provide what I need, provide husbands for my girls, and provide, you know, the grapes that I need, and just the strawberries, everything. It would provide. I know it would. It's because that's his land. But he's not, I'm the plant, he's the planter. He hasn't planted us there yet. And Israel, the giants in the land, he will take them out when it is his time, right? And For at this point, I'm not afraid of those giants, but at the same time, I'm going to wait for Yehovah to plant us in the land and to gather us with the Messiah, who's going to gather us and move us out into there and take it when it is appropriate, when it is the time that he has ordained. So if you feel cut off, you're just obey him and trust him. That's the prayer from my heart today. That's what I've heard. He's not cut us off anymore. We are remembered. We have been brought back into the family. We are part of his family, and he hasn't forgot us. I'm so thankful for that. And then, the idea of wanting to fight these, issues that keep coming up in the world that we live, and we know it's wrong, and we want to fight a good fight and stop it. This is the end of the age, and stupid things are going to happen. And he's like telling my heart, no, don't fight that. Just do, like Ali said in one of her videos, is the actions of the chosen is to obey, and we know what we were supposed to do. So the challenge for me right now is to close on Shabbat. The challenge for me is to close on feast days and still be able to keep this bakery going. There's a lot that I have to do for him in a different way now. But I don't need to be fighting those fights. That's going to go down. It's going to get stupid all around us. Just focus on him and do obey. And that's a lot right there. To throw the feast when I'm exhausted, I rely on the girls, but we do keep them. It's just not in the big, way that we used to, because I'm just kind of tired right now. So different phase in my life. What were the three things? We had, feeling cut off, feeling like I wanted to fight the good fight with all the, take on something and make it go away. And then also, am I hearing from you? And oh my gosh, did I hear in the way that he wanted me to hear, not in the way that he's talking to Jim Staley or other people, but in the way that he wanted me to hear. So same for you, okay? So there's my little story this morning. I know this is 37 minutes. Thank you for holding with me. Hope you enjoyed my story. Hope it encouraged you. And check out the links below. Go like and subscribe to our bakery. If not the TM channel right here, but also subscribe to our bakery Facebook page, Instagram page. Check us out and stay in touch, so that if you want to order some really, really good bread and food from us in the future, we have great scones and cookies and rustic sourdough breads and challah and things like that. If you want to order that in the future, then just go like and subscribe so that you can get notified. I think that's the best way. So anyway, thank you. I hope you have a great day, and Yehovah bless you, and I will see you when we're gathered from the nations and we start moving out in the greater exodus towards Israel to live there with our King. Yay! Okay, I'm going to go bake cinnamon rolls and strawberry pies.